Alright guys, MCU Collector here with another video. I know it's been a long time, but there just has not been any new Marvel Legends coming out. So, I just haven't had any videos. So my apologies if you guys have been looking for some more. But the great thing is I have a new video for you guys here today with the Thor Ragnarok, Thor Valkyrie Target exclusive 2-pack from the Thor Ragnarok movie. Coming out, which a new trailer dropped today. I don't know if you guys have caught it, but it was pretty awesome. Really cool line in there where Thor calls Team Thor the Revengers. So watch the trailer if you haven't already seen it, but pretty awesome. But in this video, we'll take a look at the 2-pack. It is now popping up into Target stores. Not all the stores have gotten it yet. Quite a few have. Here in California, they're starting to hit. They come in a case pack of 4. They're not street dated or anything. In fact, the case pack actually says street date of August 1st. So there's no issue there in being able to get the figure or anything. It's just a matter of locating which stores have it. I use BrickSeek. You can use it by searching the DPCI, which is 087-06-8293. I could be wrong. I'll include it in the description below and make sure that it is the accurate one so you guys can check out BrickSeek, see if your local stores have it. But we'll be taking a look at the 2 figures. So I'm very excited to see them. Some really cool things with the figures. You'll know that Thor is basically a reissue with some minor differences. Very, very, very minor differences. But we'll take a look at that as we open the figure. But first, let's take a look at the packaging. We have the Thor Ragnarok movie logo here. You see Thor, and we have Marvel's Valkyrie Legend series logo there. You can see Thor comes with additional hands, little lightning effect there, which is really cool looking. And then we have this sword, which looks like Heimdall's sword. So I don't know if that's going to play into the movie somehow or what's going on there. But really cool. We have the Valkyrie, and then she comes with a sword and looks like a sheath or something to hold that sword. There's a couple of daggers in there on the sides, sheaths, but I'm thinking those are probably just molded to the figure and not actual accessories. So we'll see. Side of the package, you see you have a artwork of the Chris Hemsworth Thor. On the other side, we have the I can't think of her name off the top of my head. Was it Tessa Thompson? Valkyrie there. On the back, we see a look of both the figures. You see the lightning effect. We have the sword and Valkyrie's sword. And then the bio reads, armed with ancient weapons and legendary strength, these Asgardian warriors proudly defend the legacy of their realm. So really cool. Quick look. There is the UPC for those that use that UPC for anything. But we know with Target, it being a Target exclusive, they use the DPCI. So again, in the description below. So we'll open this thing up and take a close look at the figures. Alright guys, so here are the figures out of the package. So I will show the comparison. We'll go over the Thor figure real quick, and then we'll go over the Valkyrie since that's actually the new figure. But this Thor figure, you can see the only real differences, or the only actual differences at all, are actually going to be in the head sculpts. This was the one from the Gladiator Hulk Build-A-Figure wave. So you have the helmeted head, and then you have this shin guard piece. And those are the only differences. There was no additional accessories that came with this other than the swords. But this new Thor has the unmasked head, and then it has additional interchangeable hands. So that's the difference. But we'll take a close look at the head sculpts. So one thing that these Hulks, and I don't think I really noticed it on this one, on the older one, was that they actually use that new digital printing technology on their faces, which really gives it a lot of detail. I mean, just look at the detail in there. I think it's a very good likeness to Chris Hemsworth. I don't know if, you know, the jaw and chin look a little bit bigger, but I think overall, I think that Hasbro did a fantastic job capturing the likeness for Chris Hemsworth, especially if you're looking at it from different angles. I think it comes out looking really, really good, and you can actually see in the hair sculpt, you can kind of see how his haircut is. If you notice in the new trailer, you could also see some like line work in his hair. So that's interesting to see. But I think, again, it came out looking really good. You could just look at the detail in that digital printing in there. So really cool figure. I'm not going to go over the articulation a whole lot. The cape on this one, however, this side little clip doesn't want to pour in and stay in. The ankle, this ankle in particular, was really difficult to get it to shift and move around. So it was tough to get him to stand. So it took some working with, and I'll be very careful. You don't want to break it. But now that I'm looking at it closely, you'll look at the actually wraps. You can see on the new one in the 2-pack, nice shading in those leather straps. There's a lot of black mixed in with the brown, so that makes kind of a big difference when taking a look at it from there. But again, other than that, for the most part, we're looking at the same exact things. This one, the belt looks a little bit shinier than the new one, but not a whole lot. Now, as far as additional accessories with the Thor, we have this lightning effect, which just kind of wraps around his arm. It's a very thin, plastic, rubbery, pliable. You can kind of move it around and just kind of open it up like that, and then you just kind of wrap it around his arm, and it just really basically sits there. So it's a nice touch. It's nice to get some new kind of accessory, so he will be displayed like that in my collection. So it's nice. As far as the interchangeable hands, he has the other open-fisted hand that this Thor comes with, that hand and that hand. So he already has the right hand on. Here's just his left hand, and then just like that one with the open hand, we have the additional hand here for that right hand. The last additional accessory that comes with Thor is this sword, which again looks like the Heimdall sword. I don't know what it's called. I'm sure it has a name, but here we have it. There's a lot of black wash into the blade to give it kind of that ancient antique look or whatever. Really nice. Just a flat brown in here, and we see the kind of this yellow. It's kind of a dull yellow mixed in, but there's nice little sculpted details, and it actually looks like there's a little bit of kind of a golden bronze brownish color kind of in the lining in there. So it actually looks really good, so I like that. But there it's very thin. It's very, 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 very soft and pliable, so it's not kind of a hard weapon at all. Very, 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 very flimsy and bendable. So a little unfortunate with there. We'll take a look at Valkyrie. We'll take a look at her accessories first. A little disappointing. This sword that she comes with is extremely thin. I mean, you could just look at that. It comes out of the package curved like that, but so is the sheath. So I don't know if it's supposed to be like that exactly, but it is extremely thin. If you take a look at it there, very, very thin. As far as the paint, so this one kind of has a greenish, glittery blade, almost like the previous Thor ones, but those ones were more of a turquoise, so I'd say this is a little bit more green. The handle is white, but then this loop down here at the bottom is a silver color, so there is a little bit of paintwork on there, but again, very, very thin, very, 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 very flimsy and pliable, and you can see there's already a little bit of paint chipping on there. You can kind of see the green coming through that white. As far as Valkyrie holding it in her hand, it just kind of slips in there, and it's just kind of dangles in there because she doesn't really get a good grip on it. So that's a little unfortunate. And the same with the other hand. You just kind of have to play with it a little bit, and I'm scared I'm just going to kind of rip this thing in half, but you can be able to get it on there. But as far as the sheath, sword just ports right in there. Fits nice. Now the sheath itself has some nice detail work on it. You could see a little bit of color variations. There's nice glittery brown to it and some sculpt work in there. It does look really good. As far as where it goes on the figure, I don't see an actual place for it. So I think it's just kind of there. You just kind of do with it what you will. But there's no actual place to port the sword, which is a little unfortunate. I was hoping there'd be somewhere on the figure that you'd be able to store it, but there is not. But let's take a look at the Valkyrie figure. So looking at the head sculpt, now I don't completely think this looks like Tessa Thompson all that much, but it is that same digital print scan on the face, and I think they did a good job here. I think certain angles would look like her a little bit more. But overall, happy with Hasbro's quality on their face sculpts. As far as the figures I had mentioned earlier, those daggers that she includes, they are molded on. They are not removable at all. So no additional weapons there. She has this cape here that's on her shoulder. It is not removable. It just kind of dangles there. Kind of a flat blue color. Not a whole lot of paintwork through the figure. but there's some nice sculpted details in it. If you look at like her chest and torso piece, there's kind of that a little bit of a glittery color in it, which looks really nice and comes out looking good. But as far as sculpt work, you can kind of see all the line work in there. There's a little bit of silver in there, but overall not a whole lot of paint. Her pants are kind of this brownish color, and you have kind of this straps are almost like a really dark blue, but then when you get down to the boots, kind of have that shiny metal look to it, which actually looks really nice, and you can kind of see the glitter throughout the paint coloring. So it does look really nice. She has this kind of floating belt piece here, and then you can kind of see part of the torso piece. You have this part of her costume there, but not a whole lot. So we'll go over the articulation. Arms go up, full rotation, single jointed elbow on the female figures, we know that. Wrist rotation, they do hinge, same on both sides. The head side to side. The hair does get in the way of being able to get her to look up. She doesn't really want to look up, but she will definitely look down. So we have that diaphragm joint there. Not a whole lot of range of motion, a little bit of pivot, tiny bit of crunch forward, not really a whole lot, but she does crunch back a little bit more, so that is nice there, and it doesn't look too bad there. You can kind of see the gap in there once you do that. Legs go all the way out, so the costume is not going to really hinder the articulation there. You have an upper thigh cut, double jointed knees. You have the hinged ankles. They go all the way up, all the way down. And we do have ankle rockers, so that is done very nicely. There we have it, the Thor and Valkyrie 2-pack. Looking very good. Again, Target exclusive. They are hitting stores now. I know there's a lot of reports online saying that they would show up in October, early October, or show up in November, early November at the time of the movie release. They are hitting stores now. So maybe it's just the West Coast. I don't know. But just like with the previous Target exclusive 2-pack, the Captain America Civil War Machine and Iron Man Mark 27, the Disco Iron Man, excuse me, very easy to get a hold of. I don't think this will be an issue. There's obviously going to be that first initial rush. Everyone wants to have it, kind of like me. But you guys will be able to get a hold of this, $39.99, just like with any of the other 2-packs. But thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe if you have not already done so. Please like the video. Leave any comments down below or any questions. Thanks for watching.